Hi all, welcome to another Literacy Friday session. Today we conclude our series on tips for helping struggling readers, and we're looking today at nature walks. When we think of nature walks, these are the kind of places we tend to think about. Places where there are lots of trees, water, maybe animals. But before I go any further, let me just point out that nature is all around us. We're all a part of nature. So wherever you live, yeah, that's nature. So you can have a nature walk anywhere. But as it relates to helping struggling readers, we're looking at having nature walks in print-rich environments. And that's tip number 8. Facilitating nature walks in print-rich environments like these. Environments where you can see many signs, labels, words that can stimulate conversation, things like that. Just go to those areas, and as I said, it's all around us. Look at this one. That's just one spot in Maryland, and each sign at this spot could be able to generate a conversation with a struggling reader. There could be several words that can be learned just by stopping at that one spot. Please bear in mind, nature walks can be facilitated anywhere. Look at those words just on the ground. Whether it's a child or an adult who is struggling to read, all you have to do to encourage reading and help them is to take them on a nature walk. And once more, that can be done anywhere. You don't have to have money to do this. Just walk through the door. Tell a person, just dress up. Shower, dress up. We're going on the road. And instead of turning left as you normally do, turn right. Then when they ask where are we going, just say we're going to a spot that we've never stopped at. Then stop at that one sign and say, what do you think about this? Prepare to tell a story when you get there about whatever it is that they're looking at, and stimulate the conversations. Get them to learn some words and try to memorize them, take pictures, make it a fun activity. And I'm going to walk you through how to facilitate such discovery learning. Now let's visualize this neighborhood, and as it relates to nature walk, we're going with 3 objectives for this walk. We're trying to develop interest in reading, we're promoting functional literacy, and we're facilitating discovery learning. You'll see that scene in a bit. Now, just a little story. When I was young, I used to see these vehicles very often. The label that you see right here was always on it, and I'm deliberately not saying the words now. And all the time I kept these words in my mind. I knew the word car, and I sounded out the other 2 words. Now, when I sounded out the first word, it just never seemed like it was a part of my vocabulary, but I kept storing it that way. I knew IS is, LAND is land, and that's how I went about calling that word. I won't utter it right now. And then I sounded out the 3rd word, and I thought it was rentals, and that connected with my vocabulary. Now for how I pronounce the word. So for a while I kept saying Island, saying it in my mind. Island car rentals. Never made much sense, but I'm working with it. I understood that it's a company that rented cars. Then sometime after, my uncle got a job with this same company. And one day he was just talking about the name of the company, and he wasn't speaking directly to me, and I heard him say island. Then I said, that makes more sense. Jamaica is an island. I can see why they named it as such. And that's the nature with nature walks. Sometimes you may be bringing the person along, but they were seeing signs but not focusing on them, and there was no deliberate attempt to learn the word or to understand how it was pronounced. Now I'm going to show you how you could assist this boy, Tim, in learning some words and developing his vocabulary, developing his speaking skills and his listening skills as he goes about. So let's picture Tim as a struggling reader. Tim has been living in this community for 9 years. Yes, this is Tim. There's a church in his neighborhood, but he doesn't go to church. Can you locate which direction the church is located? Yes, that's correct. And a question like this could be given to a struggling reader while on a nature walk. You could say to the person, for today, we're going on a trip, and on this trip I would like you to find out the location of some places. Now you will have to look carefully at the signs to decide what to tell me. If you are able to get at least 4 out of 5 right, there is a treat just for you. And of course, you're incentivizing this trip so that the person will be more interested in this excursion. Tim travels to school on his own, and school is basically where he goes every day, or at least just 5 days for the week. So to school and back home. That's his general trip. Now let's look at what would happen if Tim did not go straight home from school one of these school days. So generally, he would only have noticed one building with a label, which was the school. And yes, the school is normally a print rich environment, and he would be learning a lot from his teachers at school. But if on this day he decided not to go straight home and went into the direction of the police station, then not only would he be able to see the police station and the label on it, but he would be able to notice that the post office is located right in front of the police station, but a bit further on the road. Normally, he may be able to see the police station across from his school, but this time he's learning, oh, there's a post office. And if his parents took him to the post office, he would discover a lot of labels in that environment. So in Tim's neighborhood, one of the best spots to facilitate a lovely nature walk would be to go to the post office. He would be able to meet the post op mistress or postmaster and ask about how to mail a letter. He would read about addresses. There are so many things at a post office that he could be able to read and have just a mini discussion for no more than half hour, then go home. And all that is promoting reading for meaning, functional literacy, because eventually he has to know the names of these buildings. He shouldn't be able to just pass by and not notice them, not understand what these places represent. The trip to the post office would give him a real experience to have real conversations with other persons outside of his family and outside of his school environment. And remember, speaking is a part of our literacy skills. It's just one. So he is able to develop his reading skills and his speaking skills and his listening skills all right there. And if he took his notepad with him, he would be able to jot down things as well. So that's writing as well. Now, once that first trip was incentivized, he will now be looking forward to the weekend when you would be able to take him further up the road. So I decided to bring Tim this time to the intersection past the school. Now, he has never been past the school, as we said. So this is a grand opportunity for him. And he's seen a sign that says shopping mall is to the right. And by the time he turned that way, because the shopping mall would be fun, he's seen a label for a park and a fixed sanctuary. My guess is that Tim would choose to go to the shopping mall, believing that we're going to shop. Shop, shop, shop. And I could say to him, of course, Tim, we're going to buy something for you that you pick out if you're able to identify 5 labels on a building at the mall. Remember, he's a struggling reader, so he may not be able to get 5 labels easily on a building, but he would know that the next time around, if he's able to identify 5, then you would purchase something at the mall for him. While walking to the mall, however, we saw the sign that said fish sanctuary, and Tim asked the meaning of the word sanctuary, and I said, guess what, Tim? When you go home, you're going to read your dictionary for the meaning of sanctuary. Then, because he's still excited, he may say, then can we go to the fish sanctuary instead of the mall? And then we can strike a deal. Can we go to the mall today? But when you get home and read the definition of sanctuary for me, I can take you to the fish sanctuary as soon as you understand what the word sanctuary means. That would cause him to anticipate going to the fish sanctuary, and that would stimulate his interest in reading the dictionary. That's it for today, folks. I hope that this tip would have assisted someone in learning how to help a struggling reader by using nature walks in print rich environments. Now go and take out someone. See you soon.